Hello lads, hope you're well. Today I wanted to talk about summer energy, a little bit about what it is and why it's so important to embrace it. Summer energy is, well, pretty self-explanatory, that extra bit of energy that you seem to get in summer. The reason this is relevant in the UK at the moment is because we're actually having a heat wave. To be honest, for a lot of Americans watching this, I don't really know if this is applicable to you Yanks, because it's boiling there all year round. But here we get this like sort of 2-3 weeks a year in the UK, so we've kind of got to embrace it when it comes along. The reason summer energy is so important is because you're getting more sun and more heat, which is often going to give you more energy. And if you don't use that energy correctly, one, it's a waste, and two, it's going to end up coming out in other ways. Like there's the phrase hot and bothered that people say, and that is actually a thing. When you've got all this extra energy coming from the sun and the vitamin D and the heat and sort of the good vibes basically that come from summer, if you spend that time just sat in your bedroom playing video games the same as you do all year round, that's going to have to come out in some way, and it's normally going to come out in aggression or just general emotion. I know everyone sort of normally has New Year, New Me, and I actually think I did a video on it back in January, but we're being honest and being realistic. January is the worst time to start a habit. It's dark, cold, it's miserable, payday's miles away. Like, no one likes January at all. So the last thing you want to do is start trying to stop eating chocolate or give up alcohol or things like that. This time of year, in the middle of summer, is actually when you want to be starting to get those good habits in, or ideally if you can build them up a little bit before summer. Like here in the UK at the moment, the sun's coming up at sort of 4:35. It's sort of 14-15 degrees by 7 o'clock in the morning. If you can't get up early and go for a run in these kind of conditions, or get up early and go to the gym, or even just get up early and meditate and just get into the good habits of getting up early, then really you're not going to do it in winter. So that's why this is the best time of year to get those habits into practice and use that summer energy in your favour. A lot of people talk about spring energy, which of course is a real thing as the seasons change and everything like that. The reason I talk about summer is, as I said, in the UK we don't really get that massive weather change. Every now and then we have a couple of good weeks in April, but realistically, if we're going to get a heat wave, it's going to be that sort of June, July, August period, and that's really the time that we actually start to notice the difference. It can sometimes get to the end of May, even sometimes into June, and the weather here doesn't really turn, and it still feels like we're basically not in winter, but we're sort of almost in, it's almost autumn weather, where it's not pouring with rain and snowing, but well, it normally is pouring with rain in the UK, but it's more sort of a little bit colder, a little bit darker, and it's sort of more, as we get into June, it basically in the week or two it just completely changes. Now, besides breaking down the physics and geography of weather, the point of this video was, if you are thinking of habits and little things in your life that you want to start implementing, that could be anything from exercise to diet to work and everything like that, whatever it is, even if it's fashion goals of trying to dress better, this is the time of year that you want to start getting into those habits. Because if you can get them and go, right, for the next 3 months, for June, July, August, or July, August, September, when the weather's nice, I'm going to get this habit going and I'm going to absolutely stick to it and see how I feel at the end of those 3 months. If you get through those 3 months doing that habit, the chances are you're far more likely to carry it on than if you start trying to get up at 7 AM or 6 AM on the 1st of January, get up, it's pitch black for the first 3 hours of being awake, freezing cold and raining. You're more likely to go, oh actually yeah, this isn't that much fun, I'm going to go back to bed. And I'm completely the same with this. At the moment I'm doing really well with the gym, getting up at 6:30 pretty much every day before work and going, and that's all well and easy in the summer, but if I can't do it now, there's no way I'm going to do it in the winter. So I've got to get into the habit of doing that. And as the days get darker and darker and it gets colder and colder, once summer starts to come to an end, don't really want to think about it at the moment, to be honest, but at some point it obviously is, it's going to be a lot easier for my body to keep going with those habits because I formed them in summer, when in a way it's a little bit easier. Obviously, a phrase we hear a lot is seasonal depression, which is very, very real when we're not getting anywhere near enough sunlight or vitamin D, which here in the UK we don't get enough of that really, even in summer a lot of the time, but especially in winter when it's cold and dark. Naturally, the summer's going to have the opposite effect, because you're getting everything that you're meant to have in most cases. You're going to be getting enough of that sunlight, enough of that vitamin D and everything like that, and that's what you want to stick to and what you want to hang on to. Because if you're just sort of, as I say, having the same habits in the summer as you do in the winter, it's going to drive you mad. And also, if you build up a good foundation in the summer, it does mean actually by the time you get to the winter, oh actually it gives me a chance to have a little bit more to myself. Say it's gym wise and you get really lean over summer, it's going to be a lot easier for you to sort of keep things a little bit more in check if you do want to eat a bit more over winter. Then if you come out of summer and you're already overweight, you're going to really struggle over winter to keep that weight down. Look, I feel like I've made the points I want to make. I don't want to keep going around in circles, but look, little things you can do. Try waking up an hour earlier. Make sure that you do 10,000 steps a day. Just go for a walk for an hour or an hour and a half every evening. The evenings are so nice and so bright. You go for a walk at 9 o'clock and it's still going to be reasonably warm. Dieting wise, try dropping your calories a little bit. We don't need to eat as much when the weather's this hot, because we haven't, just from a paleo standpoint, we don't need to have our body fat as high as before. It's going to be far easier to eat less in the summer than it is in the winter. And finally, whatever it is you do, get outside as much as possible, because as I say, especially here in the UK, we don't get this pretty much any other time of the year. We barely have sun for the rest of the year, let alone a heat wave where it's sort of 28, 30 every day. So you want to be spending as much time outdoors as possible, get as much of that sunlight as you can, because the only time you're going to see it again for the next 8-9 months is if you go on holiday. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. I hope you did appreciate the tips and the rambling and everything like that. If you did find any of it useful, as always, please do like, subscribe, comment any other tips you have below, as I always say, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care, lads.